Good evening. It is Monday. It is just past 8 o'clock. It's time for Retro Gamer Revival presents Mod Cons. It's been a month since Mod Cons. I can't believe
That's
it.
mad, isn't it? That is mad.
Doesn't a lot change in a month? Apologise now. I'm going to be muting every 2 seconds to cough and sneeze and blow my nose and all that good stuff. So yeah, battling through some sort of cold, but all is well in the world. So there's lots of cool stuff to talk about. Let's introduce who we've got this evening. We have got Mr. Blooders.
Hello, everyone. Well done to Mr. Rob Taylor. You have received a membership from myself. I wouldn't want it to go to anyone else, mate.
Definitely not. Well deserved. And we've got Mr. Triangle Face Tim.
Hello, good evening.
How you doing, buddy? All good?
Yeah, all good. Bit tired. It's been a long week, but all ready to talk about games as always.
Excellent. Yeah, I felt like last week was a really long year. I got to the end of last week. I was like, it's been a tough year. Yeah. All is good. Evening, Mr. Ryan. Fleeting visit before watching the football.
How is the football going? I've seen people celebrating and getting angry and stuff. Okay, so
we got through, scraped through, like literally last kick of the game, equalised, and then went to extra time and scored and went through. But yeah, people are so everyone's.
Does that mean? Does that mean it's coming home now? Does that apply to the Euro? Is that only a World Cup saying?
Not anymore. They're just
if we win Euro 2024, does that mean football's come home and then
But the funniest thing is that it was created here, and it's only ever come home once. So that's the irony of it. But because we've played so bad, it wouldn't surprise me if we play this bad and actually win it from playing really bad, because it's just weird. It's not working. But yeah.
I just thought it funny, having no idea what's going on. Yeah, my football. How is the football? How are things going? I see people post like saying, "Oh, amazing, good job, England," and then like five saying, "Oh, shocking, absolutely dreadful." So like, is it good or bad? I just don't know.
You never know. Yeah. You never know with the football. For anybody that wants, before we even start, let's kick off straight onto a tangent straight away. Someone look up. Not to share here because we'll get copyrighted, but if you want to laugh, go watch that Mitchell and Webb sketch about the football.
Yes,
that is pretty much my understanding of football.
Joel, another thing I find quite funny is obviously the big football song everyone knows is like the 3 lines on a shirt, coming home song, right? Everyone posts that. But I sometimes just a joke post the Anton Deck song, "We're on the Ball." Have you ever seen that one? Yeah. So the funniest thing about that is that throughout the video, you just get the impression that like Ant wants to. Which one's Ant and which one's Deck? I don't know. They're always together, aren't they? One of them, Ant or Deck, is like really happy and enthusiastic, and then the other one just doesn't want to be there. And you could watch it with that information in mind. And like one of them just looks really bored, like he just wants the shooting of the music video to be over as quickly as possible, and the other one's like really cheery and into it. So
I've had an idea. I think
Deck's the one. Yes, so Deck's happy and Ant's like really pissed off by watching the video. For some reason.
We should do is we should get both of you two to play FIFA, on which the current teams are like England have got to play against. And then you can have that's your prediction. You can predict the future.
Okay, we could do that.
I've got a plethora of FIFA games now, so I'm happy to play any of my FIFA games.
You have
they'd come in handy. I knew they'd come in handy one day. All these FIFAs.
Then you can definitely know if it's if it will come home. No.
Yeah, far from it. Well, I hope everyone that likes football is enjoying the football. And I'll just say what's the word? I'll be sweet.
Your brother's out there, isn't he? Or has been out there?
Yeah, he likes the football. He likes watching all the football stuff. It's weird though, because like I never got into football yet. My brother's massively into it, so it's always like on in the house, and he had loads of like football stuff around the house. He had like loads of Subbuteo as well. Like he was really into Subbuteo stuff, but for whatever reason, it just never clicked with me. So never got into it.
There we go. First tangent of the evening. So yes, we're scanning through the chat. Everyone that is in, we have got Mr. Conan Brown, we've got Vernon Couchman, Mr. Dave Newland. Good evening, Mr. Rob Taylor. It's never a stream without Rob. Andy Davidson in the house,
and then
Ryan, who will be dipping out after, so he can go to the football. England bikinis. Is that what he's intending us to wear?
No, I think there's a football video that had ladies in England bikinis.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You are all very welcome here this evening. Let's jump into the first topic, which, as always, what are you playing, Tim? What are you playing?
First, what am I playing? So there's a few games I've been playing previously that have overflowed. I'm still going through, so I'm still trying to play through some Batman Arkham, but I'm not playing that regularly. Just every now and then when I've got some spare time and I've got the lounge set up to myself and the big TV, I'll play on the PlayStation and play some Batman. That's picking up. Actually, I'm getting to a point now where I can kind of clear out a room of guards without being spotted and sort of play stealthily, and that feels more Batman to me. So I'm kind of enjoying that.
I've upgraded enough,
Yeah, so I've upgraded a bit now, so I can kind of do the hanging from the gargoyles and pick people
that's
up.
really good. Yeah.
So that's quite fun. I am enjoying that, but it's just taking me a while. I did start playing a game, so I bought a bundle on Steam, which included some of the games talked about previously, like the Carto and the Monkeys game. I started playing a game called The Lake, and the only thing I can describe it as is basically like imagine like GTA but with no crime, and you're just driving around and you're like delivering post. It's just like you're in a
what was this bundle? Like the vegan bundle or something?
It was like a Save the Planet kind of bundle. I thought, maybe some gardening stuff, some planet things would be nice. But yeah, so it's basically like this little town by the lake, and you're this woman whose dad was the mailman, and you're covering for him while you're on holiday, and you're going around the town you grew up in, and you deliver posts and deliver parcels, and then you have little conversations with people. And it doesn't really go anywhere, and there's not really much game mechanics to it. It's just like playing through a almost like a little drama series. So if you're into something like, you ever seen Everwood? There's a show on TV. You ever seen Everwood or Gilmore Girls or something like that? It's basically like Gilmore Girls / Everwood the game, and you're delivering post, and like you make friends with the person at the video store because it's set in must be set in the 80s, I think. So you go to the video store and you can rent VHS tapes, and then you start doing favors for the townspeople and things like that. And I maybe got about 2 hours in. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I think I've experienced everything the game's got to offer now. But that was all right. It was quite I think it was quite a relaxing game. It's not difficult. You're just playing. But yeah, if you're into those sorts of shows, then you might like the game. But nothing too exciting there. And then I've started playing Graveyard Keeper. Another bundle I got, so that's quite cool. That's kind of like I guess like one of the farming games, but it's not like immediately obviously what you have to do, and it takes a while to get the resources you need and learn how to build stuff. But you're this guy who I guess just wakes up in this graveyard and is told like you're the graveyard keeper now, and it's like I don't belong here, I need to get home. He's from like our world, like modern times, and he's now in like almost like medieval times, I guess, and he's got to keep the graveyard looking nice. So he's trying to figure out why he's there, but at the same time, to progress, you have to fix the tombstones and tidy up the graveyard. But in order to do that, you have to get different resources, and in order to get those resources, you have to build your little like wood mill to chop different types of wood, and then you run out of resources. You have to go to the town and do favors for people, and it slowly builds up. But you spend a lot of time just like chopping down trees and mining. Quite similar gameplay to like the resource mining in Power World, but without the pals. And it's kind of 16-bit graphic style, which I quite like. Again, quite a peaceful, relaxing game, mining for ore and getting stone and wood and then making tools you need to fix stuff. So you're trying to fix up the town. But yeah, that's been quite fun.
Excellent. That's how you've sold me on the graveyard one, not so much on the Gilmore Girls.
Exactly. I wouldn't recommend The Lake, but it's part of the bundle. So I'll give it a go. It's like, this is
exactly. Why not?
Actually, kind of terrible, but hey,
why not? Blunners, what have you been playing?
So, well, I haven't been playing as much as I wanted to because it was so hot last week. It was mainly like a bit more handheld games. So I still haven't finished Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, but I'm right near the end of it. And then Ryan messaged me and went, "Have you seen the Steam sale?" For fuck's sake. So then I went and checked on there, and yeah, I've just picked up Xeno Crisis for £6. I picked up just because it was £6. Sonic Mania £3. Yeah, I'll have that as well. Grapple Dogs is new. It's like this little like it's like a pixely game. That was £3. What else on the Prince of Persia game? £1.64. So nice. Yeah, so before I knew it, I've spent a load. So just had a quick go on, and then Sonic Mania is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh, it's
great.
Good.
Yeah.
£3.74. Do you know what I mean? Just let that sink in. £3.74. It's like cheaper than a coffee. And so I was like, you know what? I've just got to have a go on it. So just thing is, I think I kind of fell off it on the Switch. So I've got it on Switch. I just never really finished it. So I'm gonna make sure I finish it. But that game is so good, and you just think it's not even like the proper team. It was. Do you know what I mean? It was I think it was 2017 or 2018 that came out. So it's. Do you know what I mean? We are due a new one. We're due a new one.
Well,
so
that Sonic, I can't remember the Sonic Superstars on the Switch. I got that, and that's quite disappointing, to be honest. Sonic Mania is way better. It was all right, but I'd also play around the time that Mario Wonder came out, and Mario Wonder was just so much better. And I thought, oh, maybe this game is better if you play it multiplayer, because you can play it with 4 players, can't you? And I did manage to play it 4 player at one point, and it was just too chaotic, and there's like people running off the screen. I was like, no, this is no good. So I wasn't sold on that one.
So is that where you've been? Is that where you've been at most of the time?
So saying I've basically been handheld gaming. I obviously played a bit of arcade stuff as well, but mainly Steam Deck, Switch. I've still got and Steam Deck's the main thing, because saying when I can pick games up for like £1, I think is it Batman, not Arkham. One of the Batman games was £1.64. I was like, do you know what I mean? Like what? Like this is crazy. It's just like someone's just throwing them away.
Yeah.
Just something to play quick between. But I highly, if you haven't, then people who don't have a Steam Deck, I highly recommend you look into one.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I've got loads of use out of mine.
You've done a me. You've done a me, but with digital games.
Yeah, it's only because I can get them past the misses without finding out. So I still pick physical, obviously, over anything.
Yep.
But if it's £1 something, I don't mind playing.
I think the bundles you can get are so good as well. You can get like these huge bundles of games for like next to nothing, and it's like be silly not to at that price. Get some excellent.
Agreed.
On Steam, yeah.
So just before I dive into my little pile, Andy Davison, good news. Alan Wake has come to physical. Alan Wake 2, is coming to physical. 100%. I didn't think it would stay a digital only game. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I was convinced if we just waited long enough, it would come to physical. And I don't know if that's maybe because, I don't know, have digital sales for this been good?
Yeah. Or is it because they wanted to get the game out because they were taking too long to sort the box art, and because you mean all it is and disc supply. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's only discs and box art, mate. Or maybe it was a timed exclusive to get it out there quicker. I don't know.
Yeah, pass. Either. Yeah. Nothing seems to stay digital unless it's like an indie game, like Resogun, for instance. Like I don't think that ever got a physical release. That was phenomenal as well. Right. So my little pile. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. So B&M again have had a new stock of games, and they've decided to make them half price as well. So these are all £5 brand new. So I've taken a punt. I've taken a punt on 2 of them. The first punt, mainly because everyone says that this is actually a fun game, is SpongeBob: A Battle for Bikini Bottom.
That's a triangle face game, that is.
Is it?
You downloaded it, didn't you, on Game Pass, or was that someone else?
No.
It was on PS Plus. It's definitely on PS Plus, but this is meant to be a really fun game. So I'm quite intrigued by that.
Bikini Bottom, what?
Again, this is a bit of a blind buy because the first one wasn't great. Elix 2 on PS5.
Never heard of that.
It's meant to be better, but apparently still not quite good. But you figured for a £5, even if it just becomes a really expensive coaster, I'm not too worried about that. Never got round to playing this, so I'm quite happy to pick this one up. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh wow, yeah,
cool, very good. I've not played 3 yet. I played 1 and 2. But I didn't finish 2. I got a bit of a way into 2, so I would like to revisit those at some point.
So they were all B&M. They were all £5. Game. I'm still trying to get rid of some game voucher points and whatnot. So I've been wanting to pick this up for a while, but I didn't want to pay full price for it. So paying under a tenner for this was Guilty Gear. Is it Strive? Been a long time since I've played a Guilty Gear game, but figured, I quite like the look of this one, but didn't want to pay full price in case it's absolute not so good. I had to get this. Blunners, you're going to have to get this too. You know it's going to have to happen. Luigi's Mansion 2
you know what?
Luigi's
You
Mansion
bastards.
2.
I was in with an R about it. Oh, it's because I haven't finished Paper Mario
yet. It had to happen. All the reviews have said that it's really good. Man. Yeah, everyone says it's really good. It's got really cool artwork inside as well. Yeah, I like the second one. I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to playing that on a big screen.
Finish it on 3DS?
Yeah, it's great.
Really
I think somebody was talking about it being like missions, which is true. Each one is like you can play a mission and then go back, get your ranking, and then you can turn it off if you want to. You get this little fix, which is quite nice. But the big pickup for me, it's not an expensive game by any stretch, but it is brand spanking new, and I'm going to recommend it to everybody, even though I've not played it yet. Still Wakes the Deep. And this is the same developers that did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which is a walking simulator, and you can't run in it. But Everybody's Gone to the Rapture was breathtaking story. This is set in the 70s in Scotland on an oil rig. There's some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like supernatural disaster starts happening. Just go online, watch the trailer, check out some gameplay, and support the studio if you can, because I've very much enjoyed the last couple of games, but this looks it looks pretty breathtaking graphically, so dead excited for that. But what I've actually been playing is Final Fantasy Rebirth still.
How close to finishing are you now? Many hours in now.
Got your money's worth out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I have. So I think I'm at the end. I think I'm in the end game. I'm closing in on 142 hours.
Wow.
But I am spending a lot of time fucking about. There's certainly little things that I've tried to do early, spent like an hour doing it, and then been like, I'm really not buff enough for this. I'll come back. So I've done that a couple of times. So I've probably wasted 10 hours trying to do things maybe a bit earlier than I should have done. But my aim is to try and do everything in it, bar complete it on hard mode, before I put it to bed, because then I've only got one trophy to get, which is complete the game on hard mode. And Final Fantasy VII Remake on hard mode was tough. And after probably 150 plus hours that I'm going to get on this, I think I need a break afterwards. I need to play something that's about sort of 3 or 4 hours, something that's just going to hit me hard and bugger off again. So
how do they tackle Fort Condor and Gold Saucer in it?
Fort Condor's amazing. There's it's not spoilers. There's an area where you're in each area you're trying to get these things called proto relics, and the way you get some of the relics in a particular area is to play Fort Condor and win. And it looks great. Everything's all sort of blocky, like looks like it does in the original Final Fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
Gold Saucer is just everything you want it to be on a next gen console, with all the music that you recognize, Chocobo racing, the different the flight game with all the space shooting, the racing on the Daytona bike in VR. Well, Cloud puts the VR headset on and then he rides the bike. It's great. It's absolutely everything you want it to be. It is long though. Like I feel like I reckon you could probably do it in about, I don't know, maybe 80 hours just to casually try and get things done. But yeah, man, I'm definitely getting my money's worth. You're right, Blunders. I am getting my money's worth out of this. Closing in on 140 hours. And there we go. So I think that's pretty much what we've all been playing. So in the chat, please get involved with this as well. The thing that we're going to be probably spending most of the time talking about this evening is the big 3 showcases. So Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo have all had their big showcases to tell people what's coming out for their console, why you should be buying that system, and all the games that come along with it. So let's see, Mr. Blunders, have you got some tabs open?
Yeah, I've got some tabs.
So run through a couple of games for the Sony one. What Sony got on offer that we can have a chat about?
So their main game, like we were just saying, I don't know. I said we all miss the E3, like the live studio. Do you know what I mean? Like you literally knew the time you'd get there, you'd watch the whole thing, and then you'd be like, wow. And then they would bring people out on stage. Do you know what I mean? You can't beat that, really. And it's a bit of a shame. Like we've gone down this now. But PlayStation wise, Astrobot was probably the biggest one.
Yep.
So you got Astrobot, Concord, Monster Hunter Wilds, Dynasty Warrior Origins, Ballad of Antata, is it? Behemoth, Alien Rogue Incursion, Marvel Rivals, Until Dawn Remaster, Where Wilds Meet, Silent Hill 2 Remake, and Path of Exile 2.
There's quite a lot, isn't there? And a lot of people were really underwhelmed with the Sony State of Play, which is interesting because I thought it was kind of good. I thought it was quite good. Nothing outside of Silent Hill 2. I don't think there was anything that I was chomping at the bit for. But I didn't realize quite how much I needed Astrobot until I saw that. All the Astrobot games so far have been fantastic. So Astrobot is a big tick. But they're still bringing out, new IPs like, Where Wilds Meet. That's a new IP. I mean, are these going to be Sony exclusives? I don't know. Probably not all of them.
I felt like out of the three, Sony felt like it was showcasing the most like next gen games. Like they all looked like the latest games. Do you know what I mean? They weren't just remakes and remasters and stuff. There's some stuff.
Behemoth looks really good. Doesn't it?
Looks really good. So I like I say, quite a few people were underwhelmed by the Sony State of Play, but I thought it was pretty good. I was quite happy with it. I think the Alien, what's it called? Alien
Rogue something, isn't it?
Rogue Incursion.
Incursion. That's it.
I think Alien Rogue Incursion looks really good. I'm quite into my like VR horror games, and that just looked awesome. So that was probably the standout for me from the Sony one. Yeah.
It's difficult because I do agree with you, Tim. Actually, I think the reason that Sony's one came across maybe so good, I don't know, maybe it's to us, but yeah, it did look next gen. And I guess the trouble with the Microsoft one is and Microsoft I thought was also very good, but everything that comes on Xbox Series X has to work on a Series S. I'm pretty sure that's the deal. So it has to be downscaled at some point for that system. Now, does that mean that people put less effort in because it's easier to downscale it? I don't know.
I think Microsoft's just in a weird place at the moment, aren't they? With all the news we've had about them closing studios, and they're really pushing Game Pass. But I feel like something's on the horizon with Microsoft. It's like when we were speculating about them selling off some franchises and things like that, and then 3 old games are being moved to PlayStation Store, and that was it. Well, okay, that wasn't a big deal after all. But no. I feel like something is looming with Microsoft and Xbox at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes. Because certainly things like Monster Hunter Wilds, is that going to be PlayStation exclusive? I doubt it.
Yeah, doubt it.
Path of Exile, Behemoth. That was the one, wasn't it? That you were
Behemoth,
talking about.
Yeah, that looks good.
That looks very cool.
Yeah,
and again,
it's very next gen, doesn't
it? It really does, and it's VR again, isn't it? It's that Sony haven't dropped VR. They've kind of gone, okay, cool. We know what you like about the old VR, but we also know what people want from a new VR. So they're kind of putting the money into it. Things like God of War Ragnarok on PC and Until Dawn, I could have done without those. Something else would have been fine. Did you really need to give God of War coming to PC its own little
yeah, a bit weird, isn't it?
For PC owners, maybe that's great, but generally, I want to see what's coming to the Sony console. But the big hit for me was Silent Hill 2. The trailer alleviated quite a lot of worries from me, and then as soon as that finished, it was straight over to the Konami broadcast thing, which immediately alleviated all of my worries. Just seeing the game run was very pretty. But yeah, I guess the only game from the Sony one that I thought, was the Marvel Rivals.
Yeah,
it just doesn't look fun. I think there's so many games like that, and I think if you're going to bring out these like team games, there's got to be something new, something fresh about it. Purely because you've got things like Splatoon, which is just it's just paintball, isn't it? It's great fun. But then if you look at things like oh god, the one that everybody plays, why the fuck can't I think Fortnite? There we go. Yeah, Fortnite. This cold's really getting to me. Like Fortnite just dominates that kind of thing, and it's free. So it kind of feels like you've really got to push that boat out to stand out amongst a real crowded area, and I just don't think Marvel Rivals kind of does. It just, and I don't like the suits either. Like most of the suits just don't look like their comic book counterparts.
I think Marvel games in general are very hit and miss. Like there's some really naff Marvel games, and then there's some excellent ones. Like I think one of my favorite games over the past few years has been the Spider-Man games. Like they are absolutely brilliant. But then there's for every good, decent Spider-Man game, you get like a naff Marvel team-up game or something as well. So yeah, it's
like the Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers, especially after playing Spider-Man, you go from playing Spider-Man to playing the Avengers, and like, oh, this is not good. I was really disappointed by that. So
it's a shame. It's a shame. So next came along Microsoft with their little display, and bar one game that I still just don't think looks very good. Again, it was another big selection of hits, I thought.
I thought this was great, to be honest. Like all being day one Game Pass as well.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean you can't, that's absolutely amazing.
Like, I'm actually going to play these. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some bangers in here. Life is Strange, Metal Gear Solid, State of Decay 3, Fable, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Indiana Jones, Gears of War, E-Day, Doom, Dark Ages. Is that
looks good as well. That Doom Dark Ages. I keep seeing the trailer pop up, and it just looks so good. Like,
doesn't it?
Perfect Dark,
so sharp. Yeah.
Perfect Dark, Dragon Age. Do you know what I mean?
So many, but they're all existing IPs, which is not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever, because they're all IPs that people care about, and they're all IPs that people want to see more games from. Like I still don't feel like we've had enough Doom games in the last 10 years. So yeah, that new Doom game looks amazing. Just that giant gun that just grinds up skulls and then fires the fractured skull at you. Like that's just metal. That is metal right there. So that looks very, very good. I do agree with you.
I thought it was quite good as well, and it wasn't a lot of like mucking about. It was literally was it? They said at the beginning, it's like only on was it Game Pass? What does it say? Exclusive. And it's like every single one was just exclusive. Yeah.
Yep. I think the big pull away from here, which is clearly going to be obviously Xbox only, is Gears of War E-Day. Like in all the various Gears of War games, like you've heard them talk about E-Day
all the time, don't you?
So much, and
especially
now, yes, and now it's like now we're going to play it, and you're like, oh my god, what a time to be alive! Because this clearly, like this new Xbox is going to have the capacity to really just go nuts with this. So I'm dead excited for the new Gears. If my computer wants to wake up, trying to scroll up and see some of these other ones we got here. Avowed, I thought looked kind of cool. little bit of a weird take there.
There's that Expedition 33 looked interesting. That's a new IP, isn't it? So that's
Expedition 33.
That looks pretty good.
Mecha Break as well. I thought that looked kind of fun. I like big mech games. I don't feel like we have enough of them. And it looks a bit Gundam-y, but who cares? It looks like a giant mech fighting stuff. Like I'm totally in for that. Like you said, Blunder's Life is Strange. Huge fan of the Life is Strange series. Do you know the only game that I really still am just not sold on, and I cannot. No, that's a lie. I can put my finger on it. I think I know what it is. I just don't like the look of that Indiana Jones game. I think it looks bad. I think it just, there's something about the graphics which don't sit well. And I just don't feel like Indiana Jones should be a first person game. I feel like he would work better in the third person, where you could kind of see the environment a bit, and I don't know, there's just something about just whipping people in first person that you're like, I don't know. I just don't think it looks like a good game. I watched that trailer and I felt like I was watching the Crystal Skull movie trailer, where you're like, oh, I really want to like this, but I just don't because it looks silly. I don't know. Maybe I'll be totally wrong.
I do agree with you on that. Like, I'm not looking at it thinking, oh, this looks next gen. It's like, kind of looks like previous gen to me as well. Like, just doesn't. There's something. It doesn't look very polished. Do you know what I mean? Like, compare the trailer for Indiana Jones to the trailer for Doom Dark Age, and the graphical difference is just like these are coming out at the same time.
Yep.
One looks a lot better than the other.
The same studio as well.
Yeah. And like, we know Indiana Jones and we know Doom. They're known IPs that we like, and it's like, you put those two next to each other, and that kind of justifies the response from Indiana Jones, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'd be really, really cool, but there's just something about it that makes me think it's gonna be like Gollum. People are gonna play it and go, "Oh, what's going on?" I don't know. But yeah. So the Xbox showcase I thought was really solid. I keep waiting for that excuse to buy an Xbox because I still haven't jumped in. This is the first time that I have not picked up an Xbox. Like, it's so into its lifespan now.
Yeah, I reckon if you hadn't bought so many games, you might have been able to bought one, haven't you?
Probably, mate. Yeah, probably.
I could have bought two that games you pick up.
Yeah.
This is true.
You're right. Then you just buy more games because you've got more options.
The thing is, it's difficult because I think with the amount of choice we have, it's hard to get like everything, and it's just to justify the spend, because like I'm quite happy with the Xbox One experience and all the stuff I get to play on Game Pass. I've got my PS5 and I've got the monthly games, and then I've got my Switch, and then I've got the Steam Deck, and then I've got my VR, and it's just like I don't need an Xbox Series X, because I've got so much I can already play. I'm sure if I had an Xbox Series X, I'd enjoy it. I'm sure it'd be great and I'd get a lot of use out of it. But I've got so many other things that I'm playing at the moment. I can't justify dropping money on that.
I'm not gonna lie, it is actually quite a nice console. I really like one.
Yeah.
It is. Do you know what I mean? It's quite nice. It's not massive. It's got it's got a cool little design to it. Do you know what I mean? And like you said, you just play Game Pass games as and when they come out. Yeah.
I think one of my friends compared modern gaming to basically being like a menu. There's just so much on the menu at the moment, and everybody is eating very, very well. Like there's so many games that it doesn't matter that there's a handful of pap ones out there, because there's just so much good content. Like, we are absolutely spoilt for choice.
Yes, absolutely.
You just can't go wrong with any system at all. It's just there's so much good stuff.
And then you throw all the mini consoles in as well, because I've got I spent quite a lot of time, not played it recently, but absolutely loving the Amiga Mini, like playing some of the Amiga games, and that runs really nicely. There's just so many things out there, isn't there, you can get.
There is. And then after all of that, Nintendo then came along and went, don't forget about us. We've got some games coming out as well. And they kind of knocked it out of the park as well for games, because basically pretty much most of their games are all on their system only by the looks of things. They didn't show off a huge amount that is going to be cross-party. The only one that is definitely going to be cross-party, and I still can't believe it's happening, is Lego Horizons.
Yeah, Lego Horizons was on there, wasn't
it?
It's just weird. It's such a weird idea. Like, of all the PlayStation IPs that they were thinking they could partner with Lego on, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the mechs look really cool in Lego form.
Yeah, maybe it's good. Yeah,
but it just feels like there's so many other things that they could have done, but they've gone with Uncharted. So not Uncharted, sorry, Horizon.
But yeah, look, like you said, they started off the showcase with that Mario and Luigi brothership, and it looked like you were watching a cartoon.
Yeah,
like the art style's different, and that's what I quite liked. It was completely different. I don't know if anyone's played these games on the DS and the 3DS, but they are so good.
They are good.
So
really good.
I think that is a really good and then you've got the new Legend of Zelda, where you are actually Zelda.
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't call it The Legend of Link.
Yeah.
Get them to swap over. Yeah,
but a great art style.
Yeah.
It's that 2D, 3D kind of like cartoony looking. I've got one of the amiibos. Which look nice and shiny and actually looks like he does in his character form. So that looks really good. What else is on there? The only one a bit weird, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So this is on so this is on the Wii, which I've got this on the Wii.
I never played it.
It's just a remake.
Just never around to it.
Yeah, so it's a remake, but I've heard they want full price for this game. And that's
they do.
Thinking,
It's difficult because it's not just a game that you could get on the Wii. Like, you can get it on the 3DS as well. Like, it's already been remastered for the 3DS, and now it's coming again. And it's not as if it's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, where the Wii U still had next gen graphics for that period of time. Like, this still looks like a Wii game, but in HD. So it does kind of feel a little bit cheap that they're releasing this again, asking full price for it, and it's got nothing new about it. If you've got the 3DS version, you've got everything that's going to be on this version. I guess the only luxury is you're going to be able to play it
on the Switch.
On the Switch, but
is it just a paper of crack where they took Retro out to make Metro Prime 4? Do you know what I mean? Whereas we haven't had another Tropical Freeze, have we, yet? There's been no sequel to that game, and that game was great. So
that was good. Tough.
That's what people were hoping for. But
yeah, that was the. There's been a little dud in each of the presentations, and I think that was Nintendo's dud. But
there's a new Mario Party game, Mario Party Jamboree. I love that little family. It's a great laugh.
And you can play online as well, which is great.
Yeah, and then they've added basketball, I think, to Nintendo Switch Sports.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's 2 games. That's 2 things they've now added since that's come out. So they've now added golf and basketball. You had the Nintendo World Championships, the NES edition. I've actually got the premium version of that coming with the gold cart. Can't wait for that one.
Nice.
So it's like loads of little online like time races like through old school NES games. So yeah, there was another random one, Nintendo 64 Mature, which had Turok on it. So it's like their online service, but just like comes under the word mature. Maybe
there's quite a few
being able to open it.
Possibly, yeah. There might be sort of linked in with your age of your profile, because there's definitely some mature games on the various Nintendo systems. So yeah, it could be interesting.
And then Perfect Dark was announced on that as well. So
it was
bringing back the original. And then the last one for me, Metro Prime 4, finally got to see some game footage of it. And wow, I've been waiting for this game. Is it 6 years? Just a glimmer. Every time we had a showcase, I was just hoping to see something on it. And I've heard that this might be on the new Nintendo console as well as Switch. This is what I think. Yeah, so this isn't going to be just for Switch. I think this will be like cross, like they did with, like, I think with one of the Zelda games back in the
Breath
day.
of the Wild, wasn't it?
Breath of the Wild as well,
and
then
both, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they reckon where it wasn't choppy and it was running like smooth as butter, they reckon this could be a game that is on multi-consoles, should we say.
This could be the Switch's swan song, couldn't it? This could be the last Switch game, which would be kind of cool if it was. It'd be great if they released it on Switch to give the Switch like a last hurrah and then bring it out for the new console as well. But I kind of feel like it needs to just have its moment because I felt really bad for Wii U.
Can you remember any games which were like the last game you bought for a console before you then jumped on to the next one? Do you remember getting it thinking this is probably going to be the last game I get for this one?
And to be honest, there is actually, yes, I can know one of mine, and that is Conker's Bad Fur Day N64. That was the last thing I bought for, like, as I knew it would be the last one, and it was amazing. But yeah, and it's always them ones that are kind of rare because unlike the Wii U where they've just flicked the Switch button and brought them back out, like normally them ones are the rare ones that are really good and then keep their like price.
Yeah,
don't I?
I can't think what mine would have been for the N64. I know day before PS5 came out, I was frantically trying to finish up Catherine Full Body Edition because they'd introduced another character into the Catherine story, which only had 2 girls in it on the 360 and PS3. So there was now like a tripod, and they'd somehow managed to just make it fit, and it was really, really good. And I was just frantically trying to get that beat that night so that I could just put the PS4 down and be like, right, I've completed everything I want for the PS4 for the moment, and start the PS5 afresh.
Yeah, I think for me it was the last game I got on the Mega Drive was the Toy Story game. I can remember picking it up thinking, I'm gonna probably get a PlayStation soon, so this will probably be my last Mega Drive game. And I actually really like that game. It's pretty decent. I've gone back and played it since. I didn't realize how hard it was. So I was like, persevered with it.
Mate. Me too.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I think the last game on the Xbox 360 was one of the Assassin's Creeds. I think it was it Black Flag was on both, and I think it was Black Flag maybe jumped to the.
My last PS2 one was God of Wars. So basically, I heard how good these were, so I actually went back and bought them both. But they were like, then that was when, like, right, I'll still play PS2 games, but actually, the last one I completed would have been Simpsons Hit and Run because I completed that live on TikTok with people helping me and telling me how to do it. But yeah, the actual one I bought would have been like God of Wars 1 and 2.
Yeah. Great. I think the last game I played on Wii U was Twilight Princess HD, which actually didn't just feel like a remaster. It really did feel like it had been completely reskinned. It was beautiful. It's the best version of Twilight Princess, 100%. You could take everything off the HUD and everything just on the pad. So the screen was just game, and that's it. It was glorious, absolutely glorious. I really feel bad for the Wii U. Such an underrated system.
Absolutely, definitely, completely agree.
It had so many good games on it, and it sold bugger all. It's never mind.
Did you ever play Zombie U?
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you ever play the multiplayer on it?
No, I didn't know anyone else with the Wii U.
Absolutely brilliant. The multiplayer, you'd get one person playing on the tablet and one person playing on the TV, and the person on the TV is playing the traditional game with like the nunchuck and the wand. It's like first-person shooter going around the map. And on the Wii controls, just going through playing first-person shooter on that. And the other player had a tablet, and it's a top-down map of the game the other person was playing. And it's almost like a tower defense game where you're the zombie master and you'd spawn zombies by like tapping on the tablet where you want the zombies to spawn. You would upgrade your zombies and do things like completely different experience than the other player, but you're playing against each other. And it was absolutely brilliant. Worked really well. I've not played anything like it since. I think it was a really unique multiplayer experience.
Yeah. Nintendo Land was a great multiplayer as well.
Yeah,
like packaged in bundle. Good,
yeah.
It was so good. Definitely. Yeah. Oh man. I feel like we need to do a special on the Wii U because it's it's a system that I think people just overlooked because it was confusing. Yeah.
victim of bad marketing. I think a lot of people just thought it was a new controller, didn't realize it was a whole new console.
Exactly. Right. Just before we go on to a difficult topic where I'm going to ask you to pick one game only from each of the showcases, let's have a small plug for something that is coming up not this weekend. It's maybe not, might not be next weekend, might be the weekend after. Let me quickly check my calendar. 1, 2. Okay, so no. 2 weeks time. We have got Knott's VGE 24 coming up. This will be, funny enough, in Nottingham. And this has been put on by Al from the Sega Guru channel and James from It's Much More. This is a 2-day event covering Saturday, the 20th of July and Sunday, the 21st. And it is going to be a great time. Head over to the Knott's VGE website if you want to take a look at some of the guests that they've got there. They've got people like the Oliver Twins. We've got some game composers. We've got Gebs24 coming. It's going to be an absolute riot. Each day is going to be ever so slightly different. So if you do have a weekend ticket, you are meant to be getting almost like 2 different days of completely different content. And we will be there hosting for the weekend, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're extremely excited to come down to this. Me and Tim came last year, met up with lots of great people. It was so much fun. So this year, genuinely can't wait. So if you don't have a ticket yet and you fancy coming along, use the code RGR at the checkout, and that will get you 15% off your ticket, which is a great saving, which you can spend on all the wonderful games traders that they've got there. And believe me, they had some great games traders last year, some really good deals, some really good bargains to be had. So yeah, come on, it's going to be a good time. And we'll plug another one after this next topic. So top pick from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Blunners did a big sigh then, so I'm going to come to Blunners second.
They're going fast, that's fine.
Tim, hit me. What is your pick from Sony's presentation?
What from each? Sorry, I thought you meant like which one is out of the 3.
So one game from each.
Game.
Okay, so Sony for me, it's going to be Alien. Something Incursion. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the one, but the VR Alien game. Rogue Incursion. There we go. So Alien Rogue Incursion for me is probably the takeaway from the Sony State of Play. For Microsoft, that's a hard call, but I think I'm going to stick with Doom Dark Ages because I just love how that looks. It looks awesome, and the fact that it's on Game Pass as well. So looking forward to playing that. For Nintendo. Look, I'm not really sure if I will be getting any of these because, like I said, I've got so many other games to play, so many subscription services, so many bundles. I'm not sure if I'm really going to be picking up many Switch games, but I think probably the top 2 is Metroid Prime 4 and Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. It'd be one of those 2, I think.
Yeah.
At a push, I'd probably say I'm more of a Zelda person than a Metroid, so I'm probably going to go with Zelda Echoes of Wisdom for my Nintendo pick. Excellent.
Mr. Blunners, what are your picks?
So Sony one, for me, is Astrobot. If anyone's played the PS5 demo, unbelievable. Even on the PSVR, it was a brilliant game on there as well. To be honest, PlayStation 1 for me was the weakest one out of all of them. I think their one a few weeks ago was better, showed off better games. So I think they showed off their better games first. Astrobot had such a big time on it. I don't think any of the other ones were like you said, some of them looked great, but like you said, Aliens on there for me as well. But as I don't have the VR, that means nothing to me now. So that Rivals, I didn't think much of. So for me, I was a bit. I don't know. Where's the next Uncharted? Where's the? Do you know what I mean? For me, it was a bit piss poor. So, 2 triangles out of 10. For that one. Xbox Showcase. Now this is a lot harder for me. Fable is my game. Mate, I've had all of them day one. I've got all of the limited editions, like the Fable 3 that comes in the book that looks like a book. It's got everything in there. That and Gears of War is my game as well. All of them as well. All of the steel tin editions.
Yeah.
So it's between them two for me. So do you know what? Just because I haven't played one in so long, and I pray to God that it still has like all the same funny English sense of humor, it's got to be Fable.
Good pick.
The jokes on it just crack me up. And and I'm opposite to Triangle Face. For me, like the Nintendo stuff, it's all very well buying these downloaded games that are cheap. But Nintendo still the quality. These games somehow still cost the same price like
they're not really
8 years
now.
on. Yeah. And that's what annoys me. So if ever I see Nintendo first party, I'm always buy them up because they only go one way, and that's up in price.
Yeah.
But all three, them main three, Mario and Luigi's Brother shit looks amazing. I love them games as well. But then Zelda was great, but then Metro Prime 4, I've been waiting for so long. For me, it's got to be Metro Prime 4. But this was a very good direct as well.
Yep.
So
for me, I mean, it's not gonna surprise anyone that my pick from Sony is Silent Hill 2. I had some reservations about it originally. Well, not originally. The first announcement for it got me very excited. Then they released the sort of fighting mechanic gameplay trailer, and you're like, well, you're not really meant to fight a lot in Silent Hill, but okay. And there was just something about it that felt a bit flat and a bit wanky. But these new trailers look great. They've listened to fans. They've sort of rejigged some of the skins a bit, and the atmosphere just looks absolutely perfect. Like, this game is ripe for a remake. It feels like this is the right time to be bringing Silent Hill back. So for me, from Sony, it's Silent Hill 2 remake. Microsoft, it's between Gears of War and Doom. And I'm probably going to pick Gears of War E-Day. I love the Gears of War franchise. It's such a great franchise. It feels like it needs an Amazon Prime TV series. It would be a good movie, but I feel like it's the kind of thing that would benefit from being a series. Get Mickey Rourke to play Marcus Phoenix. That would just be badass. Like,
I think we've really been treated now to having a really good Last of Us TV show and Fallout TV show, and it shows that you can take plots from games and make decent media out of it. I know we had like a lot of naff films, didn't we, based on games, and it's kind of been a bit cringe at times, but some of these seasons they've got now have been brilliant. So I'd be all in for that, a Gears TV series.
Definitely series. I've just suddenly thought of somebody else. I'd like to see an audition from Mickey Rourke, and I would like to see an audition from Josh Brolin as Marcus Phoenix. Like, I could see both of those people playing that role incredibly well. It'd be very cool. And then Nintendo. Do you know what? I'm finding this one quite difficult. Purely because there are 3, technically 4 games that I just think look incredible. So the Mario and Luigi Brothership looks great. It's been a little while since I've played a Mario and Luigi game. So again, like you said, Blood, it's the art style. It's dead charming. I'm totally up for that. I'm totally into the Marvel Capcom fighting collection that they've got coming as well, which is Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. I think it's X-Men versus Street Fighter, Capcom Superheroes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
one. That just looks great, and hopefully that would drive the price down for some of the ones on the PS1, because there's a handful that I'm missing, and I'm just never going to be able to get them at this rate, because I refuse to pay £80 for X-Men versus Street Fighter, because it's not the best game in the world. It's great, but it's not 80 quid great. So there's that, and then the last two is the Dragon Quest remakes that they've got coming out. I love Dragon Quest, so the fact that they're doing these HD 2D remakes, they just look phenomenal. They look so good. So to be able to play those 3 original games, I think it's Dragon Quest 1 and 2 are on one cart, and then Dragon Quest 3 is on its separate cart. That would be cool. And then of course Metroid Prime 4. It just looks good. It looks really, really good.
Anyone played Ace Attorney games? Because there's a new one of them coming.
Yeah, that looked really good fun as well.
Yeah, investigations. Yeah.
I think just because you picked Metroid, I'm going to pick Dragon Quest.
Oh, okay.
I think that's going to be really, really cool. Got no idea if it's coming to PS5 or whatnot, because if it did, I'd probably end up picking it up on that. But it was shown at Nintendo, so yeah, I'm going to run with Dragon Quest.
Wow,
yes, Yakuza
and Street Fighter.
Yakuza's TV show would be amazing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They've tried Street Fighter as a movie a couple of times now, and it's just I just don't think it works. There's too many factors about Street Fighter that you just cannot pull off in a live action movie. Fuck it, we're on a tangent. Let's go some. So the first attempt at Street Fighter the movie is pure cheese. It's so cheesy that it still stinks now. I own it. I bought the nice deluxe version on Blu-ray that came with art cards and crap, because it's such a bad movie that it's so much fun. Everybody is trying really hard and it's still terrible. They then tried it with Legend of Chun-Li, which was actually okay. I don't know why everyone hates that movie so much, but it's okay. I can't remember the girl's name who plays Chun-Li. I think she was in Smallville, and she did a really good job. You had this was a weird casting, but again, it worked really well. They had Tybo from the Black Eyed Peas was Vega, and it just worked because he's quite an attractive man, you know. So they just sort of slicked his hair, made him really pretty, and it worked really well. His fighting skills was pretty good as well. The guy that played M. Bison was pretty poo, so it kind of went from being a movie that could have been dead cool to just not being particularly great.
I have to admit that completely bypassed me. I didn't even know that existed. So everything you're describing here, I was like, didn't even know that existed. Never heard of that one.
It's fine. Like, have a couple of beers.
There was a Shenmue anime that I watched that was really good. 6 or 7 episodes, I think it was, online, and the Mortal Kombat latest movies.
Yeah, that was all right. Someone in the chat, Dave in the chat said second Mortal Kombat movie, and Game of Thrones said, I thought the new Mortal Kombat movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well. So I tell you what,
Tekken movie was fine.
Like, I thought there's an animated movie of Tekken that I quite like. I used to have on VHS tape years ago. I quite enjoyed it. And there was a really good, I think it's probably still on there now, on Netflix. They've got a Tekken series. I think it's called like Tekken Dark something, Dark Blood or Bloodline, Tekken Bloodline, I think it's called. And it's basically, the series is the story from Tekken 3, which in my opinion is the best Tekken game. So it's the storyline of Tekken 3. And yeah, it's brilliant. I definitely recommend giving that a watch. I think they did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
Like an anime.
The only other live action Street Fighter that they've tried was Street Fighter Assassins. And this just for me showed that
Assassins.
Yeah, it was. I think it was originally like a fan film that everybody.
I think I've seen that one. Yeah, I think it was a fan made one.
Everyone got really excited because they did like a fight sequence between Ken and Ryu in the woods in their original gi. They're fucking throwing Hadoukens at each other, and everybody went, "Oh yeah, this would be a great movie," myself included. And then you watch a whole movie of people dressed like that, and it just looks dumb. It looks really stupid. It's just Street Fighter is not destined to be a good live action experience. However, the series, the anime series, the manga series they did for Street Fighter 2, I think it's called Street Fighter 2 R, is great. Yeah, look, it just looks dumb. Like, no,
I've definitely seen that one.
You look.
It's really enjoyable though. It's an enjoyable film, but it's not like Yeah,
fan
it's not
stuff.
Let's play.
Yeah,
It's just not. It just doesn't look good. You know, it does, but it doesn't. You know, it's not. It's not Mortal Kombat, is it? You know,
yeah.
it's a really difficult thing, I think, to get right. And I just think because the characters are so outlandish and none of them look like they're from the same universe, that it just never works. But as a manga, it's fantastic. As an animated movie, phenomenal, because you can just over exaggerate all the features and everything, and it works really well. So I think they just need to not make Street Fighter live action again. It just doesn't work. There's my rant about Street Fighter.
Okay.
My rant about Street Fighter. Excuse me. Before we jump to questions and finish up, let's do one more plug. So we have got another event in August that myself and Tim will be attending, which is the Timeless Gaming Convention. This is happening at the Arcade Club. Is that what it's called? Arcade Club in Bury, Manchester. 4 floors of arcade goodness. Opens at 10 in the morning, closes 11 at night. There'll be a DJ playing. There's going to be loads of people doing talks. There's going to be gaming challenges. There's going to be, I think there's going to be a few vendors there. There's going to be the debug guys there. And I said it already, but 4 floors of arcade machines. And once you've paid your admission price with your ticket, all the games have got unlimited credits. So this is, again, it's a one-day event. It was phenomenal last year. You do not want to miss this one. And again, if you type code RGR24 into your checkout, you can get 15% off your ticket, which is a great saving. But from what I hear, the tickets for this one are selling incredibly well, as they are with Knox VGE as well. So if you're considering it, don't sleep on it. Just get your ticket booked up, use one of these codes, it'll get you some money off. You don't want to miss either, because you just sort of thought, I'll get it later. So make sure you jump on these events now. Okay. Questions?
Can I just do a really quick this day in gaming?
Oh, mate, absolutely. 2 seconds. Let me get rid of that.
Yeah, because there's some bangers that came out today.
This day in gaming. Okay.
So 33 years ago, Leisure Suit Larry won in the land of the Land Lizards. Streets of Rage 3 on the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Disney's Hercules on the PlayStation 1.
That's pretty decent.
27 years ago, that was. Star Fox 64, 27 years ago. So that's when the Rumble Pack came out.
27 years ago.
Obviously, we've got a question about this later, but Dino Crisis on the PlayStation 25 years ago.
Wow.
Worms 2 Armageddon, sorry, 15 years ago. Oh, Donkey Konga 2, 20 years ago. And to be honest, they're the main ones. Ape Escape to Pumped and Primed. So,
dang.
Donkey
Konga 2.
Star Fox, Streets of Rage 3.
Man, I still remember getting Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64 to you Americans. Yeah, big box, big Rumble Pack. And that was my Nintendo experience and my Nintendo 64 experience that Christmas. Still to this day, think it's breathtaking. Yeah. Yep. Lots of people. Yeah, keep the chat going about what would make a good movie, what would make a good series. I still don't think there's. I don't know. Would Streets of Rage make a good movie? I think if you were to set it, in the 80s, make it really, really like really hyper real. So people would drag their fists on the floor,
chuck him on his shoulder, and walk off.
Yeah, make it a little bit like a dystopian future where all this weird tech actually exists. And I reckon Streets of Rage could work. It could work.
I'd quite like to see a Mass Effect series. You expand a Mass Effect universe, all the different types of species of aliens that you get, and all the different factions and things. I think that would work pretty well.
Yep.
Oh, mate, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
I always thought Assassin's Creed would work better as a series as well, rather than a movie. Because the
I
movie is
didn't-
okay.
I was going to say I didn't mind the movie, but I think, yeah, it was lacking something. It wasn't great, but it felt like they tried. It felt like they tried to make a decent film. I was like, well,
so like a TV show, though, every series could be set in a different time zone.
Yes, yeah, they can
you know what I mean? Like
time hop in season by season. That's it's a very good point.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Go anywhere. You can do.
I've always felt like I don't know why they didn't do this. I think like the more recent Assassin's Creed games, they've kind of just completely ignored the modern day, what's going on. You spend most of the time in the Animus. I always thought it'd be cool if you had a thing where you were Desmond getting one of the artifacts, and then it comes out, and you're someone in the future using the Animus to play as Desmond, and it would be like Inception kind of layers. I kind of thought that's where they're going to go with it, but then they didn't. And I feel like the ending story's kind of been lost.
I won't ruin it, but the ending for the latest one is
Mirage.
That was weird. Yeah, I had to go to YouTube to try and get my head around what the hell was going on.
What happened?
Yeah, it was very, like I said, it'd be better. It would have been amazing if it was a TV show.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a bit like what I was like. Okay, I need to get this checked.
I would love to dive back into Assassin's Creed because I've
struggled with
it. I struggled with it since they did Desmond a Dirty, and I kind of fell off the wagon a bit. I did Black Flag, which was incredible. Unity, which was a bit
because
I think after Unity I stopped.
I'm saying, at least with Desmond, it was like you're going through him, like his ancestry stuff. So it's like you're having to use him, and he's on the run. So it's a great storyline. Whereas I think they got to the stage they just thought, oh fuck it, we'll just in you go, and now you're just playing as that character. But at least of him, it was like you were trying to find this artifact and then find it now in the real world time. That was
I really liked. Was it the third game, or was it like the second of the Ezio trilogy? There's one where you go back to. So Desmond is in one of the locations from one of the earlier games, isn't he? So you go to like the mansion from the second game, I think, when you're playing the third, and stuff like that. I just thought was really cool. I think they did a good job with that. But yeah, like I say, it's after that it kind of just goes a bit weird,
bit wobbly.
This is a good one. I wanted to just cover. Game Trailers, aren't they set to do a Zelda as a live action movie? What do you think about this? Tad risky. I think I would say the same thing that Ollie said about Street Fighter with a Zelda live action. I think a Zelda live action would look weird. I don't think it would work. I think an animation, sure, but
it's not going to work.
Live action Zelda, like same with
going to
live action Mario. Like the live action Mario film was just like.
The only way you could make live action Zelda work would be go down a Twilight Princess color palette, so suck all the color out of it, and just rip off Lord of the Rings. That would be the only way I think you could do a good Zelda game. You just have to rip it off and just make everything look real. None of the still have the costumes if you want to, but just suck the color out of them so that they look a bit more battle worthy, and just make everybody look like imps and pixies. So like a cross between Lord of the Rings and Legend with the Tom Cruise movie where you've got all the So it could work, but it would.
I'd love to be proven wrong because I like good content and I like Zelda, but I've got a feeling if they do make a live action Zelda, it's not going to work.
Shit,
yeah. I don't think.
Do you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. I want to see this as a live action movie. We will get to the questions, I promise you. I really, and this would have to be animatronic heads as well. I want to see Star Fox.
Yeah.
See Star Fox. I want to see somebody
live action Star Fox,
in a full Fox McCloud uniform running down that corridor with a Stan Winston effect headset. That's what I want to see. And get Wes Anderson to direct it because that would be weird. Yeah. Oh man.
Should we wrap up with a few questions?
Yeah. Otherwise, I think we could go on forever. There's so many things about this. So, first question from Mr. Dave Newland: how are you feeling about the potential Dino Crisis remake? I'll open that to you guys first. So,
definitely on board with that. I think the Resident Evil remakes they've done recently have been excellent, and I think Dino Crisis. I wouldn't say it's like a overlooked, but I don't feel it gets as much love as it should, because it's a very good game. And I think perhaps it's overshadowed a bit by things like Resident Evil. But I think Dino Crisis Remake, I'd definitely be on board for.
Yep.
Hopefully it bring the cost down of them as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it would be brilliant. Yeah.
Yep.
More, please.
I could be totally into that. That's something else that would make a great TV series.
Yeah. Thanks.
But we're not doing that. Next one from Mr. Dave Newland. Have any of you guys seen the footage for Unrecord on the PC running at Unreal 5?
I have not seen that.
Do you know, the only thing I've seen that looks real, and I can't think what it's called, because there's two. There's always this pattern, isn't there? Somebody releases a trailer for something that's a work in progress, and then some other company comes along and does a crap version of it, but releases it first. And it's the body-worn camera type games.
Yes.
I've seen it.
And I can't think what the proper one is called, but it just looks bananas. And then there's a
I just opened up a little Unrecord
unbelievable
official early gameplay trailer. It looks like body cam footage. It looks like someone's wearing a camera.
Maybe this is it then. Unrecord. This could be the thing I was talking about.
Yeah. I'm gonna share it quick.
That's the one I was thinking of as well. So I didn't know that's what it was, but I've saw little clips. It just looks ridiculous. Like,
look at that.
It does look like just footage. It doesn't look like
definitely.
a game. It looks like footage.
Yep. So there is an imitation game that is out or coming out now ahead of this.
What the fuck?
So this I think is probably going to take a little while to come out.
Yeah.
And someone else has kind of beat them to the punch. It doesn't look as polished as this at all. The imitation game kind of has the body-worn camera like in the chest, like you would expect.
Look at that.
But every time they then pull a gun up, it's like it goes into first person. You're like, but the camera's on the chest, so this just looks weird. Whereas this, I think, is meant to be like a camera mounted to the policeman's head, to the helmet, which makes more sense. Looks breathtaking.
Yeah, wow, that looks good.
Absolutely breathtaking. And here we go, Gamertron. Have any of you guys jumped on the new Elden Ring DLC? Looks incredible. I haven't. I would like to. Elden Ring was my game of the year that year. I still haven't dived in for the final boss yet, and even then, it was still my game of the year. I just couldn't sit on it more because there was just too many other things on the go at the time. But that new DLC has been critiqued for being a bit difficult, which you kind of expect from Software, you know. I think anyone that goes into that expecting it to be easy.
I say it's a game that's passed me by, really. Always meaning to go back to it, but I'm not a fan of like rock solid games, because like, you know what I mean, when you ain't got time, when your time's limited, I don't want to be fucking replaying the same thing over again. Because obviously, like the Dark Souls games and all that. Don't get me wrong, once you get suckered into it, and you know what I mean, your character's leveled up and that, I can guarantee it'll be amazing. It's just something I just haven't got around to getting it. I know how good it is. I haven't got around to getting it yet.
The trouble is, people are afraid, I think, to critique from Software games. It's almost like there's this unwritten rule that you're not allowed to say anything bad about them because, you know, they're meant to make you a better gamer. You know, all these like hardcore fanboys who just, you know, put their Elden Ring doodah in their mouth and suck hard. It's their games are breathtaking to play, and they are a very particular style. But to kind of critique them, like, they are hard. And you know, it comes up in conversation about, like, you know, disabled gamers, and that could be whether you're a time disability. So if you've got young children, you know, you're probably not going to find time to play a Soulsborne game because you can't pause them. So if something was to kick off at home, you wouldn't be able to pause it. You'd probably end up dying, which is, you know, not what you want to be doing in those games. So, and then for gamers who are maybe, you know, at a slight disadvantage because of some kind of physical disability, you know, the likelihood is you're probably not going to be able to play it either, because it requires quite specific reaction times to certain things. You know, Sekiro, I mean, that whole game is built around the parry system, and if you don't hit that parry, you've got no chance of winning the battle. But if you've got a disability, that means you can't hit that parry perfectly, and there's no difficulty setting, then it's like it's excluding certain gamers. So this could be another stream just talking around this sort of thing. But in short, no, I haven't played it, but it looks great. Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching along. It's been great having you in the chat, as it always is. It's lovely to see you all there. It's lovely to see everybody joining in, getting stuck in. Do keep the chat about movies and TV shows going in the comments section, because I think there's some gems that we've yet to uncover. You know, I'm just going to throw it out there. Grand Theft Auto would be a great TV series.
I think we need to do a show.
Could be a different era as well.
Just saying.
About the London one.
All of them. Every one could be a different series. Red Dead Redemption. Oh my God! Right,
stop. Mate, I was just about to say that. Bollocks.
Right. So yeah, keep the chat going in the comments section of which games and which games would make good movies and good TV shows. We'd love to see what people come up with. Again, yes, thank you very much again for watching along live. You're all very, very welcome here. We hope to see you in the next episode. We have Total Evercade podcast next Monday. And next week, do we also have a guest?
Yes, we've got an evening with next week. We're chatting with a gentleman from Bad Spiel Studios. We've got a game coming out called Lost Spartan. Glory Over Madness, I think it's called, which we've got to play at WASD. So we will have a look at that and a chat with the creator.
Excellent. So that will be on Tuesday. So mark that in your calendar. Hit that bell icon, as all the other professional YouTubers say. Then you'll be notified when it goes live. We'll be doing a bit of promo for that later in the week as well. But if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, because that does help us out an absolute ton. And give the video a little cheeky thumbs up, then we know you've been here. And yeah, we will see you all in the next video. So until then, good evening.
Good hand, Tim. There you go.